water. I'll be right back. All right. How's that? Okay. Okay. I think the pre-rolls are finished. I'm not really sure. It's not showing up for me. Normally it would tell me that, but it's not telling me that. There might be one more minute left. But in any case, what I started setting up here was something for Steam, so we can do some research. Actually, I guess I don't really need to do this like this. I can just do this on my computer. Yeah, so forget about that. Never mind that. I just moved my notes on over. So we have them again. Let's take another quick look at what we did yesterday. Right, we were talking about making a store, right? Modeling some things, figuring out what items can actually do, and how we use items. So let's take another quick look. So for our store, we're going to have things like items. We're going to have a shopping cart. Let's go into this a bit more. So we're going to have add function, right? All right, total cost. Um, And item stats would have something like, I don't know, movement speed. Or would it just be a buff to our player stat? I think just doing move speed. Okay. Hit points. Damage. Right, damage just as a function. Move speed as a function. Something like that. Why is my, because this isn't up here. Oh, wait. Does that mean this thing works even when I can't see it? No. Maybe it was better the way I had it before, right? That's pretty easy to follow. Right, then maybe I could take these three things. Actually, maybe what these really should be is like rectangles, but that's okay, whatever. Maybe white's better. Less is usually more when it comes to colors. Okay. Now I think what I'm going to do is kind of design from scratch something that's just a store. And we're going to build that store. And we're going to see what we learn from it and see what we want to apply to the game I'm working on. And, you know, kind of go from there. And one of the interesting things about my store is that it's a 4-player game, and so I need a way for 4 different people to be able to shop at the same time. Right? On the same screen. So that means the screen can potentially get divided into 4. So my UI actually has to be fairly large if we're going to shrink it by 1/4, right? Potentially. Or, well, hold on a minute. That might be a good reason to do something like a bazaar style Um, shop. How would that work? Okay, so I'm picturing like Wizard of Legend. So hold on a sec. I think what I want to do here real quick is we need to load up some games and look at how their shops actually work and understand how their shops work. So let me load up some games. I just recently bought Hades 2. I have never played it, so we're going to download that. Hades, what was the other game I just mentioned? Wizard of Legend? Oh, and I have the second one, which I've also never played. So we'll take a look at those two. Another one I can look at is Final Fantasy. Let's pull up probably Final Fantasy 6 we can get started pretty quickly on. Is there another? Just to get some ideas. I mean, we looked at some yesterday, but I didn't actually try them and experience them, you know? 30XX, I think, does the same thing. Right? Like some shops, it's just like characters like sitting out in the open, and that's it. Okay, so FF6 is done. Oh yeah, FF7 Rebirth. I have a save game that we can open up and just look at a shop and see what that looks like. Probably be roughly the same as 6. Now I'm thinking about it. FF6, when do I even... I'd have to probably play a decent amount of the game until I get to a shop. So we're not going to do that one, I think. But Hades... Hades is single player, though. What was the other one I said? A Wizard or Legend? So let me pull up that game real quick. Let's take a quick look at what they do. Yeah, 2 players, right? I'm just going to do single player to make my life easy. Right? And I think this next area here... Could also take a look at the way they do pixel art here. Yeah, everything's super orthogonal. This is really interesting. So everything just goes up. And actually, this looks pretty good. Right? It actually doesn't look that bad. Okay, but this is how their shops work, right? And I probably want to take screenshots of this. And let me see if I can pull that on over into my notes somehow. See if I can bring that in over here. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Hold on, let me go back to this computer. Actually, I don't even have to show you it. I can just do it. Is that not the print screen button? I mean, maybe it's not the print screen button. It'll explain why it's not working. Maybe that's the print screen button. Yeah, that's the print screen button. Right? No. Actually, where does it even tell me? how much money I have. Oh, it says it here at the bottom. I see. It would be important to know how this works with multiple players too. This game's actually very interesting. I can also look at how they do their pixel art. Everything is like very straight. I'm understanding now. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. There's not like a ton of perspective. This is really interesting. These graphics are really good. Okay, anyway, sorry. I'm getting a little bit distracted here. So I have 0. Wait, that's not gold. That's diamondy things. Whatever. I have those things at the bottom. And the way the shop in this game works is you just walk over the item and it sort of shows it to you. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's see. Pull up my other screen here. I think this will just work. Maybe not. Maybe the file's too big. Oh, it's still on my clipboard. I don't understand why it's... Oh, it's doing my whole desktop. No, you want full screen, not all screens. Come on, man. Whatever. I'm just going to take a... How can I do this? Window. That's probably the better way to do it instead of full screen. Okay. Now let me pop that into here. Okay. That'll probably come over the wire. Let's go here. It did not. I don't know why. Let's see if there's a message in my log here. Ah. Because it is over the limit. That's fair. Let's see if that works. I might have to copy it again. It might still be over the limit. How big is this file, dude? Maybe what I need to do is save it as a ping. Like something compressed. Okay. 364K. Yeah, let me go find that. Oh, I'll just copy the file and try it like that. What's the problem? Not updating clipboard because it's over the size limit. How big is this file actually? My gosh, me trying to figure out how to use Windows. This is embarrassing. Details, there we go. Yeah, no, 365K. Like, okay, copy this. Go over here. I don't know why it's not pasting. Doesn't even say anything about the clipboard. Okay, hold on. Not updating clipboard is because over the size limit. It's more than 5. Okay, so when I copy the image data, it's more than... This is too much work. Hold on. I think I have WinSCP on here. I don't. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Or Putty. Putty I have. WinSCP I don't have. Let me go grab that. Okay. Let me come here and grab my IP. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think that's the actual IP address. Why does it say that it is? Why do I have so many freaking devices in here, man? I don't even see that line in here. No? There we go. Makes it a little bit easier. Loop back, this thing, WLAN. That's so weird. It like doesn't show my IP address. Hey, hold on. Hmm. No, it doesn't show it either. I think that is the address. Oh. No, I know why. Because the service isn't running. Yep. That's why. Look at this. This is a really big sting to do all this. Okay. So that should have gotten what I need. Let's do how do I get it in here now? Let's see. Xclip, copy, image to clipboard. Cat works better. Current version. Okay. Oh, because it's not on the desktop. Fair enough. That's funny. Did I just crash this? I think so. It doesn't know what to do. It's like totally broken, maybe. Well, now I know I need to set the target to image ping. There we go. Okay. So let's put a little note here. Oh yeah. I don't know why the Linux version of this, I can't resize it from the right or the bottom. From the bottom, actually, I guess. Yeah, just from the bottom. That's weird. Items are on the floor. Players can walk past and press an action button. And press an action button to pick up, to purchase items. Right? That's how it works in this game. Now let's go through here. Title screen. I don't know what's going to happen if I hit 2 players. Maybe I just go here. Connect a gamepad. Now it's going to be a pain in the butt. So now we share gold. We don't have independent gold, which is maybe why this works more like this. Oh, that's interesting. Oops. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work either. Oh, I see what happened. See if I can pull that over. It's probably also too big. I think the fast way to do this is just increase my clipboard size, which I don't necessarily want to do, but whatever. It doesn't work though. Whatever. Oh, that's why it's not pasting, maybe. That might have been why it wasn't working before. No, because I did right click and paste and it didn't go through. Okay, whatever. Okay, let me go here. Grab this file. Grab that. So I guess this means I was making my canvases way too big. But players also share currency. Right? My game, players are going to have different amounts. So let's take a look here. So that's how it's done in this game. Another game I can take a look at real quick maybe is Gauntlet, which is kind of what this game is based off of. actually, which needs to be installed. Right. What else can we just look at very quickly? I might have a save game on. Hold up. I don't have it installed on this computer. That's funny. Okay, fair enough. Oh, Gauntlet's already installed. That was pretty quick. So I want to look at here in Gauntlet. The 2016 Gauntlet. 2016, 2014, whatever year this came out. Start game. Endless Maze. That's actually interesting. See, each character has money. It's like I don't play the warrior at all. Oh yeah, and see, they have so this is kind of what I was thinking about doing, right? Just giving a couple of generic equipment slots. How do I... Okay, none of the buttons I'm pressing are doing anything. Oh, that's why. Oops. Change equipment. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I see. Weapons, talismans, relics. So this is how they're doing equipment. That's interesting. Let me document this. I can't seem to copy screenshots across the wire for some reason. So we'll just have to save them in a bunch of separate files on this computer and pull them over. Character select. They do have different gear slots though, which is interesting. Warrior. Paint, 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 paint. Right, because part of the issue of buying equipment is now we have to have a way to set the equipment and change it. Change equipment, and the way this works is you just hit tab to go to new ones. I don't know if I like this, but it it works because you can have 4 of them on the screen at the same time, which is kind of the requirement in all of this. Oh, mother. I accidentally saved it instead of making a new file. Change gear. Okay. And yeah, I guess these things can do different stuff. I don't understand what the purpose of these other ones is. But whatever, let's just go. And we'll go through like one level and see what shopping looks like at the end. Right? Hopefully we can figure that out. Yeah, and you see the thing with this game too, with the graphics, it's decent, but it's so tiny. It's so hard to see what's going on. But the scale is more or less... Is it the same as the original? No, I think the scale is totally different from the original. I think it's smaller than the original.
I'd like a challenge this time.
There are some interesting things about the dungeon though, like you have these pitfalls and these gaps that you can jump across. And we have some hazards here. Just kind of thinking out loud about stuff in this game since we're building a similar one. I might die. This game does let you come back to life.
Returns.
I am very bad at this game apparently. We just need to get to the end of this first level so that we can see how the mechanics in this work. Maybe it would have been faster to just watch a playthrough on YouTube that we could fast forward. I also feel like that's a pain in the neck. And at the same time, like experiencing it, you get like a different level of perspective. You get like a different perspective altogether. I think it's gonna take a while though.
A feast for kings.
Oh, you know what it is? Every time I use my special, I can't really move. I don't really understand how my... Uh-oh. I don't really understand how my cooldown works. Like, I'm not sure if it's just a straight up timer. Warrior is back. Also, it's funny, right? I actually added the same looking life bars in my game. right? Not exactly the same, but more or less the same. Something that's interesting about this game too is that they're using different sized enemies. Like the size of the enemies proportionate to kind of the amount of damage that they do and how difficult they are. Oh, I can do this. Okay, so I do have another movement. I swear I've played this game before. This is also interesting too. Some of the doorways are not blocked by just keys, but they're blocked by puzzles. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I need to use that more. Yeah, he does have a special ability, right? Which is also something I was thinking about adding. What does this do? 'Yeah, so the characters move kind of slow, but I guess he still has like a mobility mechanic that he can use. I'm pretty sure this level's almost done though. Oh, sorry, it's the one up here. $3,000 gold. I mean, I have a decent amount of gold. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what's good or not. Shows the numbers when you break them. That's kind of neat. How much you got. Makes the game a little bit more interesting to look at. You know, numbers flying around on the screen. If this takes too long, I'm just gonna look up a playthrough, but I think I'm almost done with this level.
You create, I destroy. This is what
The spawners in this game are also a lot more difficult to take out, it looks like. Ow. Yeah, there we go. I think once you finish this thing, you just like smooth sailing to the end of the level. I think this is it. This is the end. Oh? I lied to everybody and myself. Wait, I can't just walk through here? I think ideally I'd be attacking and I'll hit everything including the spawner all at the same time, right? I think ideally. What? Kind of like hitbox manipulation in a way. Uh-oh. I'm getting overwhelmed. Warrior does need food badly. Nope. Good to be back, announcer.
The smashing of that summoning thing is long overdue. An amazing feat for a mortal.
Doesn't make me feel that bad that my characters are also very hard to kill in my game. Maybe difficulty is roughly the same. Okay, this is the end of the level. So it gives us some score. Money. We hit continue. Oh, there's no shop here. Oh. We probably have to get to the shop. Okay, so I'm going to just exit and we're going to look up a video. Oh, that's good to know. I thought there was a shop every level. Let's go back here. And let's go here. And just look up Gauntlet 2014. Yeah. Gameplay. This is 3 hours long. And we're just gonna peek through random parts in the video, see if we can find the spot where he shops. How is it that there's no shop yet? I must be missing it, right? Like I must be skipping past it. This is why I wanted to do it as a playthrough, because then I just might be faster to find it. Let me just see. Gauntlet 2014 shop. Maybe it'll be in the review. Hmm. Eight hours. So, if it's only 8 hours, it might be worth just playing through. But let's just make up some of our own decisions here for the sake of getting this done, because it's gonna take forever otherwise. Um, it's gonna take forever otherwise. So let's just come up with something here. I had somewhere. I had a tab open and it's gone. It over here? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So here we go. Um, basically, this I don't think works. We're gonna need something that we can split into four very easily, right? Also, right now, when you beat one level, you go straight into the next level. So by adding a shop, I would have to have something in between, right? Which would probably be like this. So I could base my shop screen off of this. That's actually not a terrible way to do it. Now I'm thinking about it, so let's go like this and just copy this. Oh, that's funny. These are full size and these are half size. Whatever, doesn't matter. I could do clear time per level, right? What should I do? Because this has a whole new mechanic. But let's just pretend this is a shop for a second, okay? Let's just really quickly change this into a shop. And how are we going to change this into a shop? So let's go here and delete those guys. Oh my days. Okay. Let's go results screen, detach this instance. Oh, the whole thing. I see. Now I can remove these. And now I can detach this instance. And then what I'm going to do in here is make this more shop-like. Okay. I was going to give each character 4 items. But maybe 3 is not a bad idea. I'm only thinking because the amount of space I have here. Right. It's 100 by 100. Let's 24. 24 by 24 is going to be really tiny, right? Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's lock this. Let's say maybe 48. Sure. Oops. And that's good. Duplicate that again. And yeah, that ends up being about 3. We can fit 3 of those. 48. Wait, 48 doesn't make sense. Why do I keep making it 48? It should be 40 by 40, which means we have space for another one. Right? And I'm just going to go like this. Throw them in a layout. Space them out 8 pixels-ish. Actually, this could maybe be auto. And we can do this based on the size of this. Right? Okay, so that's how we get our 4 items. But now we need a way to shop in here, right? And so maybe move this over here for a sec. Maybe we want this up here. Oops, I don't want to duplicate it. Maybe we want this up here. Get back in there, please. Stop doing this to me. All right. Well, so we could have stats, and then this is the equipment. Equipment slots. I'm gonna go like this. I'll make this a symbol. Create component, rather component. Equipment or item slot. Maybe it's a better word for it. And then what I'm going to do here is add some rounding to this. Which apparently was not the right place to do that. All right. There's a rectangle in there. Let's just go like this and add a fill directly to this. Oh, perfect. And it's the exact right color, more or less. I mean, I don't know. It's a decent color. Right? Perfect. Right? And then we would need a way to... We would need some sort of menu in here, right? To give some sort of commands. Right? So maybe it would look like that. And then let's create another one. Different character. And then instead of continue. Or maybe what we have down here, like this. This becomes a menu item. Just like that. Da, 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 da. Continue. Right? And then this is gonna be shop. Oh no. Oh, because that's the base one. I see. Oh, that had the actual button in it. Oh. Hmm. Okay. So let me grab that. I know I have those in here somewhere. Here it is. Throw that into the main component. Hmm. That's weird. Why would that make a difference? Oh, because this is not an auto layout. There we go. Right? And then when we go into shop, this would change to the shop interface. We have stats. We can reuse this, but I'm going to take one of these. And then here we're going to say, whoopsie daisy. I don't know what I hit to make that show up. Yeah. Shift G, I guess, is grid. Good to know. Good to know. Yes. And then this is going to be here. Gold. Actually, this whole thing here probably should be a layout. Oh, maybe not the whole thing. Hold on. Where does this S come from? Yeah. Except for that part. What is this stat sheet thing? Oh. Oh, that's just the background. Oh, I did that because this goes over. So I couldn't put it as part of this. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Background dark 2. Fill libraries background dark 2. Yeah, no, I could do whatever the hell I want. What's the 20? 20. I don't know why I did it that way. I was probably not thinking straight that day. So what we're gonna want, rank's gonna float up there. This can hang by the bottom basically, but these things, we all want in a layout. Item slots. Wow, that's pretty smart that it didn't just like group them. It like actually looked at where they were positioned and put them where I presumably would have wanted them to be. Item slots, stats. Stat row. This can go up here. I don't know why there's no space between these two. That does seem kind of strange. Oh, I do know why. No, I don't. Why is this? Those are in the same layout. Why is this not above this? Why is there no space between these? Like, yeah, sure, let's say I did do that. Let's just say. Actually, even that doesn't look so bad. But let's just say I did do that. Right? Throwing that in here should... Yeah, there we go. Now it's part of the... Okay, must have been a bug. Or I did something wrong. If I go like this, does it still... No. No, it works, right? I don't know. I don't know. But looking at this and then looking at the way I just had it, this makes more sense to me now. Because this is a more clear separation. I know like it kind of puts it a little bit further away from where we're going to show. These are going to be items that we can purchase, right? Even though it does put it a little bit further away, it makes me feel more like it stands out a bit more that it's my gold, right? But then the problem here is that this... Well, there's two ways to do this. We can have this as a list of item names with icons next to them. So the item slots. This is the shop list. I'm going to do here, delete all these, detach instance, shop row, and I don't know why that's not a layout either. But in any case, this can be auto. Shop row, description, blah, blah, blah. We should have one of these thingamajigs. Sorry. We should have an item. An item slot should be in here too. Oh, I see what happened. Yes, this is right. That can be like this, basically. Okay, I'm seeing what might be the issue here now. Now we're going to have to cut the size of this guy down. Yo, is this the item shop concept? Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the item shop concept. I am rethinking how I actually implement the shop because I need a way for 4 people to be able to shop all at the same time. So this is kind of just laying out. This is doing some layout ideas, coming up with some concepts. I should probably just like what I'm doing right now is a little bit too detailed. I should probably kind of just wireframe it without putting the actual stuff in. But because I already had this was my like when you finish the game, it shows you these stats. I already had this done, so I just kind of copy pasted it as a concept to see if I can use the same layout. But there might also, even in this, there might be a lot of wasted screen space here. It might be better to just split the split the screen. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Split, split the screen into 4 quadrants and just have it like, I don't know. If you split a 16:9 screen into 4, is it still 16:9? Whatever, right? But you'd have these kind of like landscape segments, maybe baby landscape segments. But we're just doing a couple different ideas to see what it would look like. This is very tight. There's no space here to put an icon. So I'm gonna veto this one because the only way we can make room for it is if we make the font sizes smaller. You gonna split the screen? Yeah, we're gonna split the screen, you guys. So recently that just came up out of nowhere, right? But recently I've been watching what's that show? Big Bang Theory, and there is that character who talks like that, which is really funny. He's one of the physicists. Oh wait, hold on. There is space. I lied. No, I didn't lie. I didn't lie. But there is. Oh, no, no, no. There is no space because this has the right padding on it. This is set to auto, but this should really have some space in between. Like there should be a minimum space of like 4 to 8 pixels here, but now it's see like kind of goes off the screen now. I guess we could play with this a bit. This doesn't have to be 16. We could take this in to 8. But then it doesn't line up with the rest of the screen. Like I'd have to redo the rest of the UI here probably. So this would also change. And so it like kind of fits, right? Let's just go like this. Right? Just to illustrate the idea. Why don't each player see their own? Why don't each player just see their character? What do you mean? Oh, are you talking like this? Hold on. Like this? I opened up Wizard of Legend before, and this was from some of the research I was doing. This was one of the ideas I had. I could just do this too. I don't know that this is simpler or more complicated, but you could have like we call this a bazaar maybe, where you just walk over the item and grab it. And then we don't really need to even have a UI for this. This actually might just be simpler because then this becomes basically an item pickup, but you just press the action button to pick it up. So it becomes like a special type of item pickup. I could do something like that. I mean, like, just what they are going to equip or buy. Wait, what? What do you mean? So in other words, what I have here is what I'm saying, suggesting by this is saying, well, okay, after every level, instead of just showing you your stats at the very end of the entire game, we can show you your stats after every single level so you get more feedback, like faster feedback on how you're doing or whatever. And then there would be a continue button and a shop button. And then when you press the shop button, it opens up the shop right here. And then I guess at this point, if we wanted to make more use of this space, we could go here. And since this is the character portrait here, we don't really need the hero name. We could just change this to shop. There's some wasted space on the top here. 24 pixels. That seems a bit excessive. Can we make that like 12? Yeah, there we go. Oh, cool idea. Yeah, this is just one idea, right? That I came up with. I have something like this, but I'd probably kind of make this a little bit of a different screen. I don't know. Maybe I would reuse the same screen. Right. Maybe there would be a sell mechanic that you could. This is like your inventory up here, and these are new items that you would buy. Maybe there could be a sell mechanic also. Why is this not? Oh, because this has a with fill container. Let's make this fill container. That's already filling. This is probably, oh, that's also set to what? Oh, because that's not in the layout. Okay, that's fine. So then here, what I'm saying is here you'd have 8. So let me go to this shop list and remove this. So this becomes 0. Eight's not bad. I really kind of like the way it looks better with 16. I like having more space. But this is just one idea. So what I'm going to do is side by side, put a couple of different ideas of what the shop could look like. And in this one, we'll do another one where maybe we could either take away the image or we could take away the name. So this could be shop list, shop row. Instead of a shop row, let's go here, get rid of the description. We need to show the price somewhere. But maybe what we could do is have on the top here, price, you know, sword, 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 and then we would have to have the price in gold. And this would be a layout like this. This would be fill container. This would be auto. And then this item list would just be, this could become bigger, maybe not the same size as this to make it more clear that it's a different thing. Could be the same size as that. And then this would be a gallery like this. Shop row. That's fine. Why is this not fill container? Why is this not wrapping? I know this. Nope. That is so weird. I thought normally, oh, because of the height. My bad. This should also be fill container. Fill container, fill container. Huh, wait, why is it not wrapping now? It used to do that. Oh, that's what I want. I guess they made it a separate option now. Right, so it could be like this, where you select what you want down here, and then it pops up here. This seems to be the best use of all of this space out of all of these things. Like less words seems to be better. Now something to consider, since this kind of does get cut off a bit here, like there's not enough room evenly for more than 4 of these, we could change the size on these, right? 32. That fits a little bit better, fits more items. Like option 3 better. Yeah, this third one. So this is like the this is just option 1 and option 2 basically. This is the screen that you get to before you get to these two, because potentially there could be 4 of these up at the same time, right? Like if you're playing with 4 people, this is each person's stat sheet at the end of the level. So then you would go from a stat sheet to, you press the X shop button, and then these two are the shops. This one looks better though, right? On the right side here. I think this one does make more sense. It's more visual. And basically when you hover over each one of these, it would show you here what you're buying. This could also be another thing we could do here. I'm going to duplicate this again. We're just kind of iterating, right? Another thing we could do here is, this originally was supposed to be the inventory, right? The items that you currently have. But what if I take these and delete them? And what if we put a... This is bad. I'm just like duplicating things because I don't want to set them up again. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on a minute. I am getting more ideas now. Yo, what is up with that? Actually, probably 0. Maybe this will be the character's name. So this up here wouldn't change. Originally, I was thinking this would just be a description of the item, not necessarily have the price next to it. I don't really... I think I like this one better. Or I could keep this as the name of the item. We can put the price back down here. Right, and then this could be a description. This is what I was thinking to do originally, by the way. Wizard. Yeah, whatever. awesome sword thing. Really good. This could maybe be smaller. This now is supposed to be paragraph text. And then this would be what you have selected, right? This would be what you have selected down here. I think I still like this second one better in the middle. Okay, we're going to do one more iteration. And we're going to do menu background. And what I'm going to do here is split the screen up. Shop landscape. We would split the screen up into 4. Now, what's the problem with that? The problem with doing it this way is how would we scale it, right? Because do I have to worry about that even? Probably. Because if I do the UI where there's no, like if there's only one player, it would take up the whole screen type of thing. And if it's not one player, then I have to kind of scale it down. That seems kind of annoying. Like it seems more consistent to use this style because it's going to be the same whether there's one player or 4 players. And the other way, to illustrate what I'm talking about doing this and saying, what's the size of this? 960 divided by 540. So this would be 960 divided by 2. This would be 40 divided by 2. Right? And then you'd have I could have just gone like this and said go like this. Probably would have been the easier way to do that. But then, and what I should actually do is say fill container, and then this is 540. And just let this thing do the math for me. I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. Because now I can set a gap. Ah. Right. That's what I'm proposing. And these should actually probably be frames instead of rectangles. So let's do this again. Right. I mean, I could still do this. I could still do this and have it the same experience. And then if you're just single player, You know, it's not a great experience though, because now you're in a slice of a slice. It's probably more or less the same amount of space. It's probably a little bit more space than what you'd have of one of these slices, right? Just laid out differently. So maybe it's not terrible. And then what you would have here. And here I'm just going to do some quick wireframing. What would this look like? Well, we would need this. This thing would have to show up somewhere. Item slots. Make that into a component. Don't know where that went. So that could still be here somewhere. Maybe it'd be like this, and then maybe below that, you would have this. Right? But this would be detach instance. This would be this. Not auto. We would just actually set this probably to like 8. And then depending how we want to do this, we could right align this like this. And then over here, if you split the screen, you can make it adjust to the number of players. If it's one player, it's a whole screen. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. That's how the game works for the game stuff. But in terms of scaling, the camera handles that for me. But if I'm working with UI, then I sort of have to do the scaling myself. Although, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Not that, I don't know. This just seems like a little bit of a pain in the neck to have to do the scaling. But I guess, you know, I don't have to do scaling with math necessarily and calculate things. I could like figure out very specific sizes and just kind of store 2 different configurations. Like it could be kind of like a state machine in a sense. Like you would have single player state and then you'd have multiplayer state. And then we would just say, hey, change states when another player connects, and would automatically redraw the screen the way it's supposed to. We could. We could. In which case, but like it, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like it does kind of complicate things a bit. Because then you would have like this one screen. What I'm imagining is you'd have this screen, and it would be, oh, Yu-chan, ありがとうございます。配信してたっけ? So what I'm picturing is what we could do. Draw a quick diagram. Let me open another diagram. So this would be like the main screen. And then inside that, we would have this other one that this is the one that has our actual UI in it. It's kind of illustrate. How do I make this perfect square? There we go. Right. So this would be like our UI. And then what we would have is like this would be the container, and this would go inside here. So when we actually draw it, we would have this. And then for the single player scenario, we would have, that is not a rectangle. Kind of this would be like full screen. I'm drawing it inside, right? But it would take up the entire screen. That would be the one player scenario. And then the 2-player scenario would be like, kind of like this. You see what I'm saying? So we could do that, but I also feel like that's just way more complicated. これは何？これはゲーム作ってる。ゲームの中で今、ちょっとプランニングしてるかな。店作ってる。店の機能。多分このゲームはまだ見てないかもしれない。待って、どこだっけ？これ、今作ってるゲーム。音がないな。あ、待って。ちょっと待って。なんで音がないの？That's weird. Why is that not making any sound? かわいいゴースト。ありがとうございます。ちょっと待って。とりあえずこんな感じ。今は音が出ないけど、なんでかわからないね。で、なんか、敵倒して、宝箱がゴールドをもらって、手に入れて、でもゴールドは今は全然使えないから、店作ろうかなと思ってる。で、どうやって作ればいいのかなと考えてる状況で。So, I'm trying to figure out. So we have these guys here. You know, we can kill stuff. We can collect these keys. Keys will open doors, like this door. 鍵あればドア開ける。We can open the doors. で、なんかゴールドを手に入れる。We can collect gold from the treasure chests. But このゴールドは今使えない。We cannot use this gold right now. So, just trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to use the gold? このゴールドあればどうやって使えるとか決まってる。Trying to decide how we can use the gold. I can create a shop. 店作ればいいのかなと思ってる。店作ったらアイテムも必要。I need items if I create a shop. And so I'm planning out how to create a shop and how to create items. So, ここは店のイデア。お店を作るのね。 So 多分なんかレベル一つのレベルクリアしたらこの画面見せるかもしれない。We'll show a screen like this when we clear the level, and I'm trying to design my shop. 店のデザイン作ってる。なんかどうやって、使えるとか、どうやって作ればいいとか、how to use it as a player and how to design it, right, as an engineer. So if we go this way, どっち方が好き？なんかこういうのが、こういう店とかは、This would be your items. プレイヤーの持ってるアイテムとか、装備、今持ってるの装備とか、これは買えるものとか、the things in your inventory, your equipment, and then the things that you can buy. or この方が、まあ、同じだけど、この場所は装備とか、これは買えるもの、買える装備とか。Why is this? This should be fill. There we go. Oh, this could be fill, and this could be clip content, actually. So when I go like this, it'll look like that. And we can do the same thing here. Fill content, clip content. To kind of illustrate that if there's too many things here, we would scroll down. Can AI be used for support? Maybe. You mean like use the AI to make it for us? We could ask AI. Actually, it's probably not a bad idea. Sometimes what I like to do with AI is ask it, hey, how do you think I should do this? And then based on what it says, I weigh out the pros and cons and try to decide if it makes sense. So let's see. So if I did this, right, then I could kind of bring back this style, which is more words on the screen and less pictures. Right? And so then this would be the shop. And we just have to make it bigger. Like what size is this? 36. 36. So we'd have something like this. And then we'd have to have something like buy, continue. I don't know. Something like this. What would I do? I have like extra space here that I'm not using though. You can go over here and have like sell. I don't think that's a good idea actually. I think maybe it should be like this. This goes in the corner. This can be items. This can just have more items in it. I also just realized this says enemies thwarted, which makes no sense. To say like sword. Oh. And this should say like the amount of gold. Oh. Oh. We could do this. Hmm. Icon name. Cost. 何が一番大変？一番大変なのは多分これ決まるのがプランニングするのが一番大変。多分プラン作れば、作るの方がなんていう作りやすくなる。If you is asking what's the most difficult part of this, and I think it's planning. Planning what you're going to do is probably the hardest part. 8. Maybe it could be closer. Maybe it could be more far. That's too far. Kind of like 12. Gives it a little bit more separation. $15. That's 16. We could put another thing here. Maybe like this. Sell. And then this would be like the X button. Oh, geez. I gotta grab that. Where's my X button? I should really just use I have a component for this. Let me pull that up as this one, I think. Yep. And how would I decide which one to sell? Selling seems like it might complicate things. I feel like players should be able to sell, but I also feel like it makes things a little more difficult. And then if I go here to this whole frame, store, or shop is what I should call it. Then what I can do is I can delete these and I can duplicate the shop multiple times. Like, is this column span? Oh, interesting. And that's what it would look like if 4 people were shopping all at the same time. Is there a start button in here? No. What does the start button look like on the Xbox controller? Like a hamburger menu. And I guess these would be in a menu, so we should put that in a layout. Whoa, what happened? Oh, because this accidentally made this extra one here. So this are ready. And then this. Oops. Where's the master component? This one. Oops. I think there should be another text component in here maybe. Using font awesome. What the heck is it called? Oh, because I have to set it to bolt to solid. Oh, because it changed again. Well, it's an actual hamburger. Oh, Jim. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Hmm. I'm gonna have to look this up. Font awesome hamburger menu. Not the burger icon. Menu. You know, it's funny. I'm spending all this time. I could have just drawn 3 lines. But I was positive there's like a menu button. No? FA hamburger. No. That's a hamburger icon. What is the nav bar? Bars. It's just called bars. Oh my god. It's just called bars. That's what I wanted. It's close enough, right? Maybe this should come out here. How did this guy make a circle? I guess you just go like this. Nope, that's not the right button. Ellipse. Hey, where did those bars go? Something like that. How big is this thing? 24 by 24. Oh, because I clicked it before I hit the... That makes sense. I mean, it doesn't, but it does. And this probably needs to be even smaller. And we want to align this. This is not in a frame. Control G? No. Control Shift G? No. Control F? No. What's the frame? Control Alt G. Okay. Okay. That's decent. Right. Right. I don't know. Why is there so much space in between these? Oh, there we go. You see, it doesn't line up though. Why doesn't it line up? Oh, because that has padding around the sides of it. That's why the spacing looks weird. What? Oh, these are 32 by 32. Okay, so I gotcha. Can we trim those so they're not? um, there used to be a button in here. This. No. Resize to fit. There we go. Yeah, now they should line up. Nice. Something like that. I don't know. Which one do you think looks the best? This might be the easiest one to create. Time is it? How long have I been on here? 2 hours. Okay. I will be right back. ちょっと待ってね。トイレに行く。ちょっと休憩する。Ugh. Okay. We are back. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Okay. Got something to drink. We have some tea here. I spent a couple minutes away from the computer so I can look at these designs like they're kind of fresh in my mind again. Hmm. Hmm. I don't really like this one that much. And like the other thing, like I said, is the problem too is that once this comes out of here, then we need to have a full screen version of this, which means now we need to scale everything. Right? Which actually maybe just looks like that. Maybe nothing scales. It's just things position differently, and that's how we scale it. Could be. Then there's like tremendous amounts of wasted space here. This is obviously the most condensed. We could do one more version of this. I don't know why I made these full size. I don't feel like making them smaller though. And I don't think I like any of those. I think I like all of these better. These are the ones I tried to make. These were my first attempts. These actually all look better. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 So let's try another one. I still didn't figure out how I would sell things over here either. But I guess if you hit sell, this could turn into a sell menu. Would be one way to do it. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna change this. Instead of this, we'll bring over this style, I think. I mean, even if we didn't, I guess we could make it bigger. I don't know. Oops. Do something like, how far is this? I didn't really look at this at all. Oh no, I did. No, I almost did. I guess I eyeballed it. Close enough. But I could do something like this. Oh, what was this one? Yeah, that's what it was. Nope. There we go. Actually, that doesn't look that bad. I think this design's just better because it's less cluttered, right? Go like this. I'm trying to make this half the size. It's not quite working. Whatever. I was thinking it would snap into place, but it didn't. So we make that 16. Make that 16. Make that 16. Maybe not. So what was the 9? We can make that much smaller on top. Maybe even 0. Oh, look at that. See, it just feels like a better use of space somehow. Mmm. I got it. So we don't need buy and sell here. Um I'm thinking it would be nice to have a button like X that would go from it would move you from here to here. That would be really nice. But then the actual action button would be this. So this would be buy or sell. Hmm. But then, yeah, how would we say this? That's what we would say. Inventory. Right? And then this, to emphasize, let's put a stroke. I guess on the inside, yeah, that's right. This. And this is the selected item, right? Hmm. And then maybe what we would do is I'll go over here. Is this not in a... Oh, it's not in a layout. I thought it was. Well, now it is. Inventory. Oh, sorry. What I would do is actually like this. No. but I think that's way too big. Hmm. Oh, I see. This is going to need a lot of work. I don't think this group is really needed, right? How do I set this to scale, though? Isn't there a thing here that says scale? Oh, there it is. How come they're not both set to scale? Okay, that's weird. I don't know if I can make it smaller than that, though. Because what would be smaller than that would be like 16 by 16. Yeah, that worked, but the font didn't work. They don't have that font. Oh, that's why I can't scale that. That's the gist of it, anyways. We can scale it once we get into the game. It'll be something like that. So it would look something like that. Right? We basically have two columns. Line right. Face auto to push it to the bottom. This would be, I guess, ideally 16. Oops. That just looks less busy, right? Something like that. And then this thing would be fill container. And you would mostly shop based on the way something looks. I think this one's my favorite. I think this one's my favorite so far. Regardless, like I'm planning out how it's going to be in my game. I think regardless, let's just make one and we're going to build it in a separate project. So it doesn't really matter. And then let me go here, make this full size. Oh, before I do that, what I probably should have done was go here and say scale. And the same thing with this. And probably just doing that is enough, maybe? Maybe. Basically. Now it does look a little bit different over here. Like this looks a little bit crazy. So I'm wondering, instead of having all this space in here, maybe these should be where's the spacing? Oh, right. Sorry, within these. Maybe instead of auto, these should be a specific size. And this should be aligned to the right. Oh, it is aligned to the right. Oh, but these are not aligned to the right. Maybe it should be more like that. That probably does look a lot better. Let's go back here. I didn't use a symbol for this, so it's going to be a pain in the neck to go back and update all this, but just basically go like this. And then we're just kind of like just doing this real quick, right? That's why I'm not making components for everything, because that would be crazy. But on a full-size screen, this could also, these sizes could go up, I guess. So on a full-size screen, 48 is the size, isn't it? Can I do math in here? Damn, that would have been nice. Eight times 4 is 32. Times 5 is what? 40, right? And times 6 would be 48, right? It is 48. Why did I think that was not right for some reason? 48. So 48 should be fine. Or what's next? 56? Maybe 56 by 56. And these go up to 48 by 48. That looks pretty good. Right? Thing is, my shop's probably not going to have this many items in it, though. So that's whatever. Right? Whatever. And then this inventory, this would also increase size. This would go, these things would go 40 to 40. This would be, I think, also, why can't I type in here? Dude just calls me randomly. Like, that's okay, but I need some sort of... Oh, is this why? Detached instance. And now I can change these? Yeah, that's why. Right, because 8 times... Well, 8 times 8 is 64. Wait, 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. Yeah. And that's what I use for this. Mm-hmm. And so all these would be 56. And then it's not auto. Item slots width would be, yes, fill container. Why is this so tiny? Oh. Well, sorry, hold on. This is hug contents. Item slots. What's the parent of this? Inventory. Inventory should be fill container. There we go. And then these, the font would come up a couple points. 24. Something like that. And then these font sizes would also have to come up. Oh, they're mixed, right? I forgot. Because this one was 14 and 16, so 16 can go to 24. This one can go to 20. And that would look kind of like that. So I guess this is kind of what we're going for here. Okay. I guess. So let's go with this one and let's export a screenshot. Can I export to clipboard? I wish. So we're gonna try this one, I guess. Let's go here. Oh. That's funny. Let me do these two at a time first. All right, this is kind of my design document here. What will we call this? Shop screen? Or viewport, right? All right, so instances of shop screen fill this viewport. Handles its own inputs. So this does make things a little bit complicated because this means now each shop screen has to have a controller associated with it. Or each shop screen needs to have its own input handle. Scaling happens via predetermined That's the multiplayer experience, and this is the single player experience. Each stop screen handles its own inputs and logic. So that means that each shop screen is going to have its own inventory. Yeah, inventory I think is the only thing it needs. It doesn't really need player, it just needs inventory. Okay, now what does one shop screen have? Grab a line. All right, so shop screen. So let's say we have a shop object, right? We started doing this, right? These are the models. Oh, I never had, okay, I originally had a cart. I think we're going to get rid of cart. I think we could just have a shop instead of cart. Yeah, I think this is the same thing as cart. We'll call this shop. Right? Maybe that's fine. Maybe this is fine just like this. Shop screen UI breakdown. That's a good name. I think this has to come out to a separate note. Yeah, because now there's no longer a single date attached to it. So we'll just do this. Um, and then let's go. Download slash shop. Divide. Go back here and we'll export the scaled version. Right. So this is what we're gonna do. Every good game dev I see is bald. Should I shave my head to get better at programming? I think it happens organically. There's definitely a pattern there. This happens organically. We just kind of, when you're trying to figure things out, there's a tendency to like rub your head and like pull out your hair. Yeah, that's the pattern. By the time you start understanding things, it's better. There's just nothing left up there. How's it going, guy? I'm just gonna call you Liquor for obvious reasons. uh, right? Planning is really it's the best and the worst part in all of this. I'm so excited to like start writing code, and I'm like I have to suppress that because I really just want to write code right now. Is what I really want to do more than anything. But if I don't know what it is that I'm going to write, that's a problem, right? So, okay, but I think we got some good stuff here. Uh, so, okay, so I understand what this diagram here is that I started drawing. The breakdown, right? Basically, if I go here, now I can start figuring out what each component is individually. So we have this component. I think this is basically it. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is our 4 main components here. And then this can probably just be part of, that can probably just be part of the UI. But I think the way I want to break that down is have this be, you can actually do this in here instead of importing it into our other stuff. I can just write notes here. So this will be the inventory panel, right? Inventory panel. Can you line this up for me, please? There we go. Inventory panel. Buttons. Yeah, menu. Menu? Button menu. Action menu. That's a much better name. Action menu, right? So we have inventory panel, action menu. Up here, this will be the item details. Item details, and this is going to be here the shop items or catalog. Hey, that's what a shop list of shop items is called, a catalog. We're going to call that a catalog. Right? So that's going to be it. So this is going to be item details, catalog, inventory panel, action menu. Mm-hmm. Can I do this? Did I set this up? I did not set that up. I don't know how to take a screenshot here. I can just frame this temporarily. And export like this. Shop notes or shop. Forgot it's Control R now to rename it. Shop UI. Shop components. Okay, we got that done. Shop components. Let's go back here. We're gonna go, oops, downloads. Shop components. There we go. Copy and paste that. And basically describes everything. So let's break it down. So our shop, I think I am going to have to break it down a bit more. Basically my shop, Oh, I see. Items. This was for our shopping cart before, though, because we were going to do bulk and total cost and add and remove. We're not doing that anymore. So let me, this is cart. Let me put that back the way it was. And what I'm going to do is group that and duplicate it and throw it over here. And we're just going to kind of, is there a way I can, yeah, opacity. Yeah, I should just do that. Discarded ideas. Right? And then I can do the same thing for this, which I colored in red before because I thought it made sense, but I actually don't really like the way that looks. So what? So I guess this line would be normally white, and this would normally be blue, and this would normally be white. Right, and so what I'm gonna do here is this, and this. Opacity. There's gotta be a way to quickly drop the opacity now, right? Whatever, I'll just throw it at 60%. Maybe less. 40%. Right, because not like we can't undo it, right? So instead of cart, this is going to be shop. Right, and let's break this layout. How do we break it? Ungroup, Control Shift G. Okay, and then what we're going to have for items, we're going to have catalog. And we're not going to buy quantity. It's just going to be a list of items. It's not going to be a total cost. It's not going to be add. It's just going to be buy and sell. And here we could have an optional sell price as optional, right? If we wanted to make it sell back for less. And my inventory doesn't really change that much. Items, quantity. We're not going to do quantity anymore. We're just going to do items. It's easier. Items. Is it going to be items? Maybe it should be called gear or something like that, like equipment. Equipment makes more sense, probably. Or gear. I like gear because it's short. Okay. So this store is going to be called shop. Shop models. We're going to have a model called shop. Right. And what else does this need to know? This needs to have the, it needs to have a, well, that's the model itself, right? Okay, fine. Then we're going to have shop UI. I don't want to put the UI as the owner. So I guess shop should have it. Shop will own. I'm trying to think if it's a, who should own the input? Well, regardless, let's come back to that in a sec. Shop. Okay. What was I just thinking? Oh, we need an inventory, right? Inventory. This way we can manipulate the player's inventory when we're buying and selling things. So each shop will have an inventory associated with it. I think that makes sense. probably it, right? Oh, item. Here we go. So item, thinking about items that can be uh, that take effect as soon as you purchase them. We could have a callback called on buy. I don't remember what the syntax for this looks like. I don't know what the syntax for that looks like in Godot. I don't remember. But basically, as a function. And that dictates what happens when we purchase it. So, for example, if we purchase a clock, let's say, and the clock gives us additional time to complete the game, then as soon as we buy the clock, it will immediately emit a signal and apply it to the game. Catalog, buy, sell, inventory. If this is a like I'm trying to horseshoe this. Horseshoe, is that the right word? I'm trying to slot this into like a model or a controller. Um and we could split it into two separate ones, right? We could split it into two separate ones. And what we could also do, if we don't want to hold a reference to the inventory, we could have our buy and sell accept an inventory, right? And in that way, uh, we could basically have this set up. It would be a little bit more decoupled. We could do, it's more of a delegate style, which would work with signals and slots very well. If we only wanted to have, say, like one instance of a shop and let that one shop instance do everything. But I think I'm okay with the way this works as having separate shop instances. It's not, it shouldn't be like a super heavy object. And we also, it could be separate too. We could have a shop and a shop controller maybe. Shop controller. And the shop controller, oops, shop controller would handle the input. That's probably what I should have done. I should have started with saying what each thing does. Handles input, right? Because if this handles input, and we know this handles input, that makes writing the stuff in here much more trivial, right? So we would have an input player number. Player number is what we would need to have. Player number to determine which controller to use. Player number and a shop instance. Handles input. What does this one do? All right, handles inputs. Handles transactions. That's the purpose. Um, enhances players' stats, alters game. These are the same size, aren't they? They are. That would also help make this a little bit easier. Small shift zoomed. Alt and option Fibonacci. What does that even mean? Whatever. Means these should probably be large sized. Oh, I think I like that better. Okay. Whatever. Right? Hmm. Now this represents equipment, right? Equipment or items, which means it has to have a graphic also. Would that be in the model? Maybe. I don't know how it's stored just yet, but maybe. Because you have to know how to display it, right? So the item stats alter player or alter player behavior. Alters player behavior. Right? So if that's the case, should it really be called play item stats? Maybe it should be called player modifier. Because that's actually what it does. And then, oh, benefit item stat. Why did I call it benefit? Modifiers. Player modifier. My inventory. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm writing down the responsibility of each class. So that way I can separate out the behavior of each class. Inventory holds references to holds state of player items and gold. Player item of player items and gold items, gold and keys, right? Well, that's what items are. So something like that. Handles input, ties input to functionality. That's really what it does. Ties input to functionality. So not just that it handles the input, but converts input into functionality. Now we could have some signals for the shop too, like when we buy something, we could send that signal, hey, we bought this item. The shop controller can subscribe to that. And that way, that's how the child can communicate upwards to the parent controller to show notifications saying that, hey, this thing was purchased, or even just to update the inventory. Right? And I could probably split this up separately into like functions, properties, and signals. I think this is a good start for now, though. Descoped, I guess. That seems reasonable. What time is it? It's time for lunch. So, that said, I am gonna hop off. I really, really want to start writing code for this, but we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. But this is good. I did get a lot done. We did a lot of exploration. We figured out more or less what we want to do. A little bit more planning, and I can start writing some of the code. And you know, some things might change around as we're actually writing the code. That's fine. But that's pretty good so far. All right, guys. I will catch you later. Trying to eat. But I hope you enjoyed watching me plan things for hours on end, basically. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.